Violinisti. So today we're going to keep on learning Italian. There are some other videos already on the terminology and how to speak Italian, well, relative to the violin. Then if we want to do Italian lessons, we can also do that, but might be for another channel or another time, because it's just not enough time in the day. So we're going to talk about these Italian tempo terms that it's a little bit about the speed, but also the attitude. So you see this little word that's written at the start of the piece and might think, okay, so what do I do? So sometimes there's no metronome indication, there's just a word. And I've written down a list here so I don't forget, because there's just so many, or at least the ones that I remember mostly, that are the most common. And I've also got a metronome here, and we're going to turn it on. So the first word is larghissimo. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Larghissimo. It's not larghissimo, it's larghissimo. Oh, larghissimo. So try to pronounce that, larghissimo. Largo in Italian means very wide, okay? So if you've got a shirt and you say, questo mi va un po' largo, it means it's a little bit wide for me. Okay, so that's a good way to remember. I don't know. It's up to you how you're going to remember these words, but for me the pronunciation is what's going to hit you well. So so you say questa camicia è larghissima. So this shirt is really wide, okay? So larghissimo, extremely slow and broad, very broad. So the metronome here will go from 20 to 24. It's really, really slow, okay? And to have that, you need to, you can't have the analog metronome, because that will start from 42. You need to get the digital metronome. So the digital metronome, you can go down to 20, to 10, to 1. You can go really, really slow. Then you have grave, G-R-A-V-E, grave, that's slow, and so the metronome will go from 20 to 40. To give you an indication, this is 40. Okay, so the metronome is at 40. Then we've got largo, which goes from 40 to 60. So that means broad and expansive. So 40, which you just heard, and 60, okay. Then we got adagio, which adagio means, even you say in Italian, vai adagio, okay, vai adagio. So it's slow and at ease. So yeah, definitely not fast. Adagio, let's go adagio. Adagio, so 66 to 76. So let's bring it up to 76 to make you have an idea. Okay, so this was adagio, and then you got adagetto, because etto means a little bit. It's a different adagio. It's adagetto, and this goes from 70 to 80, and slightly faster than adagio, slightly faster. So at 80, let's see if we can bring this up to 80. Okay. Okay. Next word, andante. Andante. Okay. Andante goes from 76 to 108. Let's put this at 108. Okay, I'm doing this because andante means at a walking pace. Okay, andante. It's a walking pace. Then you got andantino. So we'll go slightly faster. It's 100 from 80 to 112, slightly faster than andante, basically. Okay, you see there's a huge range. That's why I say it's a speed plus an attitude. So there's a huge range. Then we've got moderato, not moderato, and this goes from 96 to 120. Just basically means moderate. Okay, this is the easiest one to remember. Then we've got allegretto, also goes from 104 to 120. This is moderately fast. So it's very similar to moderato, because moderato was from 96 to 120, and allegretto is from 104 to 120. Allegro, allegro means happy. In Italian you say, oh, sei allegro oggi, you're happy today. Allegro, allegria, siamo contenti. Allegro means fast, lively, and joyful. So it goes from 120 to 168. And allegro, if you're happy, you'll be going a little bit, moving faster. Okay, then we got vivace, vivace. It's not vivaci or vivace. I've heard lots of pronunciation of this. This goes from 152 to 176, and basically it means lively and animated. Vivace. Okay, we got this one. Then we got presto, and if you say in presto, hurry up in Italian, okay? Presto goes from 168 to 200. Let's listen to the 200. Okay. It is quite fast, isn't it? So watch out that when with the presto, then you'll start to have also technique collapses because it is really quick. And if you want to just try to go fast, then you have to make sure that you're slowly coming up to this speed because it's quite dangerous. And then we've got prestissimo. Prestissimo is 200 plus, so let's say 208. Okay, this, depending on what you're playing, is very fast, and so you use it generally for small passages and yeah, just for little occasions basically. Okay, these are the words that you need to remember. Now we're going to talk about tempo modifiers, as I wrote down. So they just modify their tempo a little bit. So say for example you have a certain speed, it was Adagio, so 66 to 76, and then all of a sudden you've got a word, some words that are just for that bar, for a couple of bars, okay, and they just change the speed just locally, but just a little bit faster, a little bit slower, a little bit suffering. It just depends on what word is written there. So you could have most words that well, I remember at this day is accelerando. Accelerando. When you're in the car in Italy, you say accelera. Put your foot on the pedal, basically go faster, you accelera. So accelerando means gradually getting faster. So if you have that under a bar, slowly, every note you're going to get a little bit faster. So if the tempo was 100, you go 103, 105, sort of, but just for those 2 or 3 notes, for that bar maybe, and then it might be that the speed changes completely, but you don't want to all of a sudden go from 100 to 200, okay? Unless you got a Lamborghini, of course. But we're just talking about a normal car, you're accelerando, and slowly the pace gets faster, okay? Then we got stringendo, which means pressing forward, stringendo, okay? Stringere means to, se stringere, if this shirt is stringere, it means it fits really tight. Stringe, it's all the tie is too tight. Okay, stringendo. Then we got ritardando, which this is quite common. Ritardando is slowly, so basically getting slower. And that's generally at the end of the piece where you got a ritardando, you slow down, there's a long note, you finish, and then people clap their hands, they applaud, okay? So ritardando is generally at the end, but not always. Then you got rallentando, which means basically relaxing and slowing down, rallentando. Okay, and then you got ritenuto, is suddenly held back. So it's a little bit hard to explain all these words, particularly with ritenuto, where you're giving away the note just at the last moment. And some books also have morendo, which gives to me more the impression, because morendo means dying. So yeah, it's just the pain of getting, it's generally also at the end, some final notes. A tempo, so back to tempo. So you might have all these words and then suddenly you got again a tempo. So if you slow down, you went faster for a few notes, then all of a sudden a tempo, or all the orchestra goes back to whatever the speed was originally with the metronome, okay? And then you got rubato, and rubato means flexible time. Rubato, in Italian, rubare means to, this is a hand gesture, means to steal, rubato. Or rubato, so flexible time, rubato, okay? Hope your pronunciation is going well. If you have any other ones that you want me to pronounce, then please comment and let me know. I'm really curious about this. It's so fun also, and I can help you with the pronunciation and the meaning to the best of my knowledge. Okay, a presto, ciao ciao.